what kind of structure we need to work the dream and the maker. Well, when we pass from dream to the maker, we're going to change completely the way we work, the way we organize the work. Okay? Once you are in the dream area, the structure will be a non-structure. We're going to call that parastructural. We're not going to be hierarchical, where you're at the top and people reporting. It will be more like based on community, based on groups, based on information sharing, where there's not going to be any, super titles and people above everybody. We're kind of equal, and we're all sharing information. We're all discussing, exchanging. And yes, some people, they might be facilitating the discussion, running around and rallying people and validating stuff, but this is not a formal structure. And what we try to do is try to make sure people understand that, you have to create an environment where we could have exchange. If you start putting formal structure, vice president and director and engineer, communication flow will be blocked, especially in certain culture. If you got some executive titles in the room, the people are not going to talk. They're afraid they're going to be judged. They might lose their job because people will think it's stupid. So, you got to make sure in the dream area, your level hierarchy does not block any discussion. And therefore, there's no bad ideas. And of course, we're going to sort it out. And when you work on a concept, we don't want to work with everything. But the idea is like, let's be equal for one, okay? And I know for some culture it's very difficult because I am the big boss and people should respect that. But once you are in the dream phase or the dream area, you cannot, be superior of everybody in terms of ideas, okay? You have to be able to let the idea flow, put your title at the door, join in, and participate. It's really community. For those of you that are using LinkedIn, when you put a group together and there's a community of people getting together, discussing, we don't care much about what status you are, if you're vice president or director or consultant or, you could contribute, you could throw your ideas there and nobody will start, saying, oh, hey, I'm the boss, you should. So that's the idea also. Within company, you could do that also. So the whole community, which is very, very strong, is very key for you in the dream area. So the community would allow you to get all these discussions regarding the needs, the business side, regarding also the market side, also the operation side, and then feeding in the concept and bouncing ideas and floating around until we come up with something that, we feel like, I feel it. I feel that's the story. I feel that's, and yes, certain level, the artistic people that are leading, the artistic director, the creation, they will have to step up and direct a little bit and guide and make the decision. That's the story, that's what we're going with, and that's the concept. But the parastructural is very strong in the dream area. Now, when we're going to be moving, we're going to have the project approved and move into the maker, the execution, where we're going to have design. Then we're going to need to be a lot more structured, because then contract's going to come into play. We're going to have to start contracting designer, contracting staff, casting crews. We're going to have to start to organize a project into deliverable, the production, making sure certain pieces gets executed, etc. So then we need more formal structure, hierarchical, where certain people will have, the decision to be made between others. So structure, typical org structure is key, is important, and usually you would have your core team at the top of the structure. Your directors of creation, director of production, technical director, the artistic director. All of these ones will be your core team. They'll be at the top of the pyramid, and then they will have their team under them, and information will flow to that hierarchy. It also helps us to build a budget. As you're building the budget, you could break down into different pieces depending on how you structure. And it helps us to track also resource, staffing, everything. So the whole structure needs to come into play when you do the actual maker. So if you look at the model here, we have added the two structure into the two different pieces of the dream and the maker.